the dawn of another day. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of The Conversation here on Lagos Television. I am Abimbola Bello.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the program. I am Ajibola Ojeshola. The Qs are back.
Good morning. I am Adebimpe Omotayo.
And I am Joy Olu. Welcome to The Conversation.
Well, the weather is not too bad, but be rest assured that this is the kind of weather that brings all sorts. Cold, catarrh, malaria,
You can say that again.
dizziness, drowsiness, not wanting to get out of your bed. All of those things, they come with the weather.
Climate change. But whether we like it or not,
Climate
the
change,
show must
really.
go on, and we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get it at news points for today. Should we start with the minimum wage issue or make it the last story? I just hope we're going to get an end to this.
Let's make it the last story.
Okay. So let's start
Okay.
with you.
Lagos Assembly plans law to curb street begging. The Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, has said the legislative arm is considering passing a law to curb the begging of alms on streets in the state. He explained that the proposed law would empower the state government and non-governmental organizations to regulate aid soliciting. He says that the law will also ensure that donations reach the needy without them having to beg on the streets. The rising number of beggars in Lagos necessitated the regulation. He also said following this legislation, anyone caught begging on the streets or aiding such, particularly among children, would also be sanctioned according to the law.
We've always had issues of street begging in Lagos, and if you ask me, I think it's gradually becoming a norm.
Yeah.
Where people now beg without
Shame.
without shame, and some kind of entitlement as well with them begging, and then somebody is coming to beg you for something, and you hear, this is not my money, and I'm like, are you for real?
They have
You put money in my
beggars have no
pocket.
choice, but now they have choices.
They have choices. So if they have choices, then they shouldn't be begging. So I mean, if it was said that a beggar had no choice, why are you not telling me that
This is not my money.
this is go and like F1 like it's not my money? Like, so why are you begging me?
I know there are different strategies to how
There are
people-
different beggings.
Yes.
Corporate
You know,
begging.
some will whip up sentiment of children.
Yeah.
Some will whip up the sentiment of sickness. And at the end of the day, you'll find out that there was actually nothing wrong with them.
Some will even stand at the bus stop. Please just help me.
Begging
And some
has
even forget that, okay,
they begged
They beat you
yesterday.
yesterday.
at that same spot, the person will come again.
They've even taken it to
That's their
another
duty post.
dimension.
Let me tell you what
Now
happened.
beg on
Let me
social
tell you what
media.
happened to me yesterday. I went to a certain bank, along Agidingbi yesterday, and as I was, coming back into my car, that was wow. This guy, with, of course, with this terrifying look. I'm sure I know where he's coming from. With this access.
Around there.
And he was like, Fumilo Mijo. I now looked, who is he
Like,
talking
who are
to?
you talking
As if
to?
I'm holding his money for him. And then, Fumilo, má ṣe bó ṣe tó, má ṣe bó ṣe tó.
I just entered my car. That's how much it took.
I just entered my car. If you want to beg for money, beg for money. Why are you harassing me?
I don't know. I just hope that, when that law is enacted, it will be followed strictly. And I think, again, people get away with so many things.
They do.
So if we begin to see that, yes, you get caught for begging, and then there are consequences, people will sit
People will
tight
sit up, yeah.
and, find a way. What even bits my own imagination is those who now beg online. And,
Oh, there's online begging too.
Hey, you haven't
Social
seen
media
them.
begging.
Hey,
They'll comment
you
on
haven't
your post
encountered them.
and beg.
They'll come on your post and then, just say, if you're reading, my child has not eaten, and I say, your child has not eaten. You have
but you have
money
money
to
to
buy
buy
data.
data.
My friend, go and tell me another lie.
Social media begging. There's a topic for another day.
Adebimpe, your story.
Okay, federal government opts for duty-free imports of rice, wheat, beans, others. The federal government is planning to suspend duties, tariffs and taxes on some essential food items imported through land and sea borders. There is a need to bring down the cost of food items, which have hit the roof, making life unbearable for Nigerians. Consequently, the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture and Center for Promotion of Private Enterprises, in a swift reaction, lauded the government's decision, saying it would have a positive impact on inflation. The listed food items, according to a source, says, which includes maize, wheat, husked brown rice, cowpeas, and would enjoy a 150-day duty-free import window. So that is.
I wonder why
looking
there's a
promising.
cap for now. Why 150 days?
Why 150?
I mean, why not look at 6 months or
A year.
a year?
year.
If truly we want to drive down the prices of those commodities that government, and remember, it is still plan in progress.
This is a plan.
And so we do hope it's something that will be done. But I think that the 150-day cap is too small.
It's too small,
It's
yeah.
too small for you can't have the effect, and that's less than 4 months. 150 days.
Yeah,
That's about
just 3 months.
15.
about 4 months.
About 40, about
So
4 months.
I think it's little.
6 months or a year, like you rightly suggested, would have made some impact, because at the end of the 150-day window, some sellers will still tell you that, okay, I still
They
have my
have old
old
stock.
stock. So it's not able to reflect
Old
on my
stock will be
price
over.
and everything. But it's a good step. I hope the federal government will look at it again and, of course, reflect upon it and make it better than what they're proposing now.
Well, maybe perhaps again, if one is playing the devil's advocate here, maybe the 150 days will be just at the beginning, and maybe
Okay.
like we do
Adjustments over
would,
time.
increase. We just hope that it is one thing that government will look into. All right, the third news points this morning: human rights, democracy, economic growth, key issues in Samoa agreement. For those who've been following, this has been some kind of
Controversial.
controversial story since it broke. The Samoa Agreement is the cardinal framework for European Union relations with African, Caribbean, and Pacific countries. The previous partnership framework, the Cotonou Agreement, was adopted in 2000 to replace the 1975 Lomé Convention. It was concluded for a 20-year period. Let me flip to this particular one. So this new agreement was officially signed on November 15, 2023 by the EU and its member states and OACPC members in Samoa, an island nation located about halfway between Hawaii and New Zealand. The new partnership will serve as the new legal framework for EU relations with 79 countries. This include 48 African, 16 Caribbean, and 15 Pacific countries. One of the things that a lot of human rights advocates have been saying is that the government signed this particular Samoa agreement, which promotes the rights of
Same-sex marriage.
Same-sex marriage, or the LGBTQ community generally. But government has said, no, that's not what we signed, and they've come out to break it down in pieces. I was privy to see the whole document, and the one I saw, I'm not sure I saw this particular thing, but then those who are saying it said it is tucked in somewhere, it is a disguise, and government has gone ahead to sign. But then government says, we haven't signed an agreement in that capacity. This is what we have signed, and they've broken it down into what they've signed.
Abimbola, there's cause for concern with this agreement, because looking at the rule of law, which states the parties shall commit to the promotion of universal respect for an observance of human rights and fundamental freedoms for all, without discrimination, based on any ground, including sex, ethnic or social origin, religion or belief, political or any other opinion.
Is that a suspect for you?
That is a suspect for me.
Well, again,
From the way it was coined,
Yes,
it's
like
a suspect
hidden.
for me as well.
Yeah.
But the federal government has come out clean to say that, okay, we are not hiding anything, we have not signed any agreement, and that we are not trying to promote same-sex culture in Nigeria, but if that part that Adebimpe read, by my own interpretation as well, it is loaded.
It's loaded.
Yeah. Okay, but perhaps that's another, another conversation for another day. We need to run. Our guest is here and is running late. So, Ajibola, let's quickly take your story.
Okay, the final story today is basically talking about the delay in signing the new minimum wage, and of course the Emirate tussle, and the crisis center here is warning the federal government on the need to urgently address those issues of new minimum wage, and of course the Kano Emirate crisis, as well as the political crisis in Rivers State. And, the federal government have been quiet for a while over the new national minimum wage, saying that they are trying to negotiate. The Rivers crisis is still there. 2 different assemblies sat yesterday. And the Kano Emirate crisis is also there. We have 2 emirs in Kano.
Well, so many things happening. One of my fears will be that I just hope that the Rivers crisis will not necessitate a state of emergency in that state at some particular point in time. The Kano crisis is another one brewing right there. And side by side, Sokoto is also,
the government kept denying, but they are taking some steps.
And the steps are quite, as we speak, they are glaring. But we do hope that all of those things, the federal government will take a stand so that we know where exactly government position on these issues are. Sometimes seeming quietness can be dangerous. For some of this.
The weekend was quiet too.
And he came out. He came back with it. So very quickly, let's go to X. This morning was trending. One of the issues, so many issues trending, but this morning, this has been trending since yesterday. Ajibola started with it, and the facts that the queues are back. But the NNPCL yesterday also, in a press release, said, give reasons why the queues may be back, saying that it is not. It has nothing to do with price increment, but of course, flooding, bad road, and all of those issues are some of the reasons why there seems to be a problem, why loading is delayed.
But people are already buying above the normal price.
Have you bought recently?
No.
I still bought at the normal price yesterday.
Oh, really?
I've not bought fuel recently. The last time I bought fuel was like Wednesday, last week.
Last week. Okay, I bought yesterday and there was no increments. Again, it
depending on the part of the country that you are.
And the fuel station that I bought. Let's continue to monitor the situation and see how this goes. We'll take a quick break. The conversation returns shortly.